Guys, this is Jamie with gettingcrafty.net. That's gettingcrafty.net. Happy Fun Friday. Nice to see you. I'm so glad you're joining us. Let's go ahead and just check our channels to make sure everything is coming on live and strong. If you are joining us live, can you comment and let me know what channel you're hearing us on and if you can hear me? That's always my biggest struggle, is to find out if the volume is on. We had quite a challenge in getting that done through our journey to let me see here. Yep, if you can hear me on YouTube. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. I love that. I love when you guys can see me and hear me. It just helps the production go along well. And so I am excited to be here. This is the season to have like insane things happen. Welcome to spring. And so just double checking here that everything is live on Facebook. And if you guys haven't, if you like and share this video, it's free, but sharing is caring. And really it helps the algorithm in such a wonderful way. There we are. There we are. And I see that you guys can hear me on Facebook. I always love that. Let me just share this into our group. The Getting Crafty Stampers. If you're not part of our group, you can always create with us. Mystery stamping will be coming back. Hold on. There we go. There we go. We have had a season. I will tell you what is very interesting. Let me see. A week or two ago, I had a bat get in my house and dive bomb me. It didn't attack me. I didn't get bit, but it dive bombed me. And now it's spring. So what we have are these fake ladybugs here in the Midwest, and they're Japanese beetles, and they smell and they will bite you. Nice. Them and the scary alien looking like stink bugs that will get into everybody's house. And it's a downside to living in such a beautiful community. That is the challenge, my friends. That is the challenge. So if you're going to join us live, go ahead and comment. If you haven't received my email or seen my posts, my husband's been in and out of the hospital with congestive heart failure and lung issues. And then we've just had a lot on our plate. And so I am so glad to be here with you guys live and creating. I lost one of our dearest friends of 17 plus years in that same time that my husband was in the hospital. And when he got out, our dearest friend, is her birthday today. So I just kind of wanted to cheers. Can you guys join me in a nod, a heavenly birthday wish going up to... I'm looking at bugs. I'm looking at bugs. Don't get distracted. If you know me, I hate bugs. If it goes to dive bomb me, we will not be surprised because it's happened before and I scream. So grace. And so in heaven, happy birthday, Donna. We love you. She lost her battle with cancer and earned her heavenly wings, which are far more beautiful than anything we could have here on earth. So there is that. So I have a question for you guys. If you're joining us, this is the amazing thing that we're going to be creating. It's a dash of hope. It's a little framed art. Ooh, I forgot to get the second frame. I'll have to go do so. But that framed art, I may not while we're creating, and you guys, we can just show you how it nestles in. But several of my friends are fighting cancer. And so I wanted to create a nod to them. When I was out today, when my daughter had a pickleball, she's part of a pickleball team, and so she was going there, so I went to a local coffee shop, and next door to the coffee shop was a craft store, believe it or not. So they create, but it's like the kind where they create gifts like this and they sell them, which I thought was really beautiful, and it got my juices flowing, like, what are we going to do? And then the next between that store and the coffee shop is a breast cancer care package. And I thought this would be a great gift if it were to go to a care package like that. And I know it looks like they're lit up, but it's just the reflection of hope in there, because recently with everything my husband's going through, I felt like I was needing some prayers, and I felt like God just said to me, where are you placing your hope? So my hope is in the Lord. And so no matter what happens here on earth or anywhere else, God has me and my family. So I just thought we're going to go ahead and create this beautiful art together with one of my favorite designer series papers. It's an online exclusive. It is the Everyday Skies. This is beautiful. I have a video of it for you guys on my YouTube and Instagram. And also I think on Facebook, it's a reel that goes through. So just in a minute or less, you can see all these papers. They're vibrant, they're gorgeous. And if you know me, I love color. This is dopamine crafting today. Dopamine crafting. You didn't know. And so I will show you the 4 sheets that we're going to use and how we went about creating this now. So let's go ahead. Again, if you're joining us, go ahead and like and comment and share. That helps me out. Tell me where you're coming from. And if I scream because there's a bug near me, that's my life. Okay, let's turn around and go. So we're going to come up and we're going to zoom in, but I have a new privacy screen. So seeing anything on my phone is a little bit harder. So I'm going to scooch down here. There we go. I think that's even better. So this is our art for today, my friends. And if you're seeing this, let me know what you think. This was inspired. A friend of mine did some recent art with butterflies, and I have an art piece that I did years ago for a Getting Crafty family with butterflies, and it's across my studio. And I didn't bring it over here, but maybe I'll post it and show you guys. And that it kind of inspired my juices to get flowing. Like, where am I going to create? What am I going to create? And I created some sympathy cards this week for the loss of my friend Donna, for my friend Bonnie, who lost her son this week, the same week, and for my friend Debbie, whose mom recently passed away, who I love both of them greatly. They've earned their heavenly wings, and so I just wanted to create something that might inspire people. And then when I saw that breast cancer place today, I thought, that, you guys, is what we need to do. We need to give hope to people that are here, because once we're in heaven, they already have their answers. So there is that. So I have a question for you. These are the pages that we'll end up using. I wanted you guys to see the die cuts that I did. This will be on my blog tomorrow. I did not get it today because I am super mom. I'm super mom right now. But if you guys look, you can see here, Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Basic Black, Blueberry Bushel, Bubble Bath, Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, Fresh Freesia, Melon Mambo, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Pretty in Pink, and Pumpkin Pie. What do they have in common? This gorgeous packet of paper. So if you grab all of those, this is kind of how this kaleidoscope of color will come together. You want to see? Isn't that beautiful? I think that's a wonderful collection that embraces all of the seasons all in one. And because I wanted to do that very thing, I wanted to celebrate life and our hope no matter the season, no matter the sky, no matter the struggle that we're going through. And so that is what came to mind. So I grabbed all of those designer series paper. I'm moving this around so that we can make sure she's straight. There we go. It seems like we might be too far. I'm just trying to see from the video. You guys see too much of my crafting space. Quite honestly, it's a wreck. It's a wreck because life is messy. But, so these colors, I would not put these together on my own. But the fact that Stampin' Up! Has a whole cohesive collection of artists that bring together colors and balance them is how this piece is going to come together and be so balanced, but having a broad variety, a gorgeous kaleidoscope of color. And here we go. So what I did was I grabbed these 4 sheets out of the paper. So I grabbed a little bit of a darker, moody sunset. Probably, I think this is more like a winter sunset. And then we have like this fall themed, right? With all the oranges and pinks in the sky. And I like to think this is more of a summer theme, possibly spring, with all these kind of moodier colors. And then this is more summer. This here, I think spring and summer kind of fight for this depending where you are. But in Indiana, it may be 70s this week, but next week's back to 40. So it's going to be chilly. Then I also grabbed one of my favorite die set right here. This is the Spotlight in Nature dies, and there's a lot of circular dies with really great color cohesion. And so you can see here what we used this gorgeous piece. I froze for a second because I was trying to figure out what I'm doing. And I die cut 2 of them on top of each other because I wanted to really hand pick what part of the image that I wanted to attain. What part? I wanted the part that was full of color. I wanted the part that had a variety of colors. So that's kind of the flexibility that you have. This circle is just at 4 inches. So if you were to look here, it's just shy of 4 inches all around. That's a great size to create the shadow box frame. Really easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll have the link for all of this on my blog as well. So if you guys want to grab your own, I like to keep them on hand. And this is why. This is why, my friends, I think it's important to be able to create something on the fly for birthdays or situations, even if the situation is just my own struggle with exhaustion or depression or stress. I need something that's going to help pull me out of it. Having something like this that I can create and give away is a selfish blessing. So it's a blessing for somebody else, but for me, creating this helps to restore some of who I am. Am I the only one? I also have to laugh because I have I have a manicure right now. My stylist, she hand paints all of this. They're gorgeous, right? And so there's butterflies on here, and my husband and I released butterflies at our wedding, live butterflies. And so the theme is with this beautiful butterfly set. We're going to be embracing that. We're also grabbing this. I'm grabbing it here, making sure I have the correct names on everything. The mini alphabet dies will be what we use in order to create the words that we have before us. And we're going to dive right in. Now, I already die cut these 4 sheets, and then I cut them in half. So that was really important. And then I put them in their happy little places. Happy little places. And there's no right or wrong with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to set aside this kaleidoscope, this beautiful rainbow of color. I don't know if you have a favorite of the collection, but I really think like the blueberry bushel might become my favorite especially when you put it with the others. Though I do love the variety that we get here. Holy cannoli. I hate bugs. If you're laughing at me, so far we've not found a way to not get them in the house. Like this is a thing here in the Midwest. And I'll be fine. I will not suffer too much. We will end up using the little butterflies here that's in this set to die cut each of those colors. And guess what? It has 2 of those little butterflies to die cut at one time. So when you see here, I use this little one at the same time to die cut for 2 projects. If you're going to create, you guys, create and take it to the next level. Create a couple of them, put them in your drawer. Now, when you're creating a card, what I like to tell people is put a sticky note on the back of it with who you gave it to last time. And then you don't give the same card to the same person over and over, because that will happen. And then we're going to take this beautiful piece here, and it's, I believe, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Again, all of these measurements will be on my blog. We're going to use the paper trimmer. Now, you're asking me, what am I going to do with the paper trimmer? We're not trimming anymore. We're going to take this to 2 1/8 right there, here, and we're going to do the lightest bit we can score line, just a little faint score line. And when you do that, there's just a fine, can you guys see that? That little fine line that goes across it. That's the halfway point. Since at 4 1/4, 4 1/4, we're going to do 2 1/8. And make sure you're using the score blade. You could probably do it a little bit harder if you wanted to, because it will get kind of hidden with the way I've laid this out. And then, oh, here they are. So here's the 4 circles, and I put them in their place, and I've already taken the first piece here and then just kind of went around and took one of each piece off. And so I layered them so that the pattern was matching all the way through. And this is kind of important because the way it cuts these 2 pieces like here at the bottom so that they separated, if that makes sense. I'm going to bring it up. You can see where it's separated there. So if it's die cut, it keeps that cohesive project going. And that's the same with over here. Like it'll have a same vibe over there. Does that make sense? We're creating little pie pieces and we're trying to create them as equally as possible. And I'm a mom. So let me tell you, my kids and my husband fight for equal portion. It's really funny. Then we're going to grab the top one here. And we're going to place it kind of down. Doesn't have to be, but this T-zone is what's going to help us stay in alignment. So we have that there. I'm going to come down and I will grab the piece underneath of that here. Then we're going to come over and I have a choice. I can either go with this piece or the other, but I'm going to go with that. And then we're going to grab the moody piece for the top right there. There we go. And so I tried scoring it on all 4 pieces. Let me tell you, that did not work. Did not work. So we're going to come up here. And then we're going to take our multi-purpose liquid adhesive. If you're joining us, you know that's a quick and easy adhesive to use. Whoopsie doopsies. There we go. And we're going to come in and just do a semicircle. You don't need a heavy hand with this. You really don't. But this is what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to kiss them together. Kind of put them back to back. Give it a little smoosh. Smoosh. Do you guys make fun of words all the time? I do. I I enjoy modifying words until they have the personality that I am. So we have had my husband in and out of the hospital, and just a lot to juggle with that. And we're really grateful that he's home. And then when we got home and losing my friend Donna, that was like a blow. Like she was so full of life, right? And so she's been to many of my stamping events. If you've stamped with me over the years, and I've been doing this for 19 years, you probably ran into Donna more than once, just more than once. You had to have. She was at my retreats, and she's been at a lot of different things. Her laugh was boisterous and loud and gregarious and just so full of life. And she just loved everybody. But above all, she loved her. Hi, Karen. She loved her husband and daughters so freaking much. And their dogs. They have a couple of dogs, Labradors. And so yeah. So there's that. Then because we're going to have this background, I really want something subtle that's not going to take over. So we're creating this 3D art, Karen. I could see you doing this for your Ministries for Joy that you do, your happiness campaign. You guys, Karen has this great happiness campaign that she runs. And so this will create 4 of these patterns. And you can create 4 and just have a lot of fun with it. And then we're going to grab the matching coordinating embossing folder. And so, Karen, you probably have met Donna. Well, maybe you haven't. I don't know. You might have met Donna at different events, but she has been at my stamping events for years, and she passed away. So we are nodding this as a nod to our sweet Donna. But also, like, one of my dearest friends is fighting breast cancer right now. And she's cancer-free, but she's finishing chemo. Yes, the Optimist Club. That's what it is. Our sweet Karen runs or is part of the board for, isn't that correct, sweets? The Optimist Club. She's so amazing. And Karen really is, like, no stopping her. She's full of joy, you guys. And so I want to make sure that that center line goes up the center of that butterfly, which means it's going to be slightly crooked because this is like floating butterflies and it's not a dead center, but I want this to be a little bit dead center because of the balance of that butterfly. And this is an embossing folder, so it just comes with the embossing plate. Yeah, me too, sweets. It was really hard. She's Lieutenant Governor, you guys. I love her title. She's Lieutenant Governor. And when you're Lieutenant Governor of an Optimist Club, like where you're just there to bring joy and hope, oh my gosh, this is so up your bag, girl. This is just your thing. This embossing folder can die cut. It can do a lot. And if you guys tune in tomorrow, there should be a video that posts that embraces this to create a sympathy card. So that will be really fun for you to see. Now we have all of the patterns and those score lines were disappearing. It also will help to kind of push the adhesive. If you have applied too much adhesive, wait, allow it to dry. Do not run it through your machine if it's going to seep out and get sticky into your embossing folder. That's really not a way to go. Now, we're going to end up at the end, tucking that in at the end. Okay. So we're going to take all of those colors that are listed in this designer series paper here. And Karen, give me a comment. Do you want it to circle here or do you want me to kind of have it scatter? I think circling, because I'm a little bit OCD, you let me know, scatter or circle. Can you comment and let me know? I mean, that would give me an option to play with, but I'm going to take a sip of my seltzer. Let me see here. If you guys haven't given me a like and a share, make sure you do so. I see Karen's on Facebook. Good advice, Anita Dean. Yes. One of my classes, somebody didn't, and it really made a big mess. It does. You like the circle? Me too, Karen. Me too. I like it a little bit. It's a little scattery, and I'm going to show you what I did to create the woven butterfly look. But at the same time, I think if you were to scatter it, you might lose the butterflies underneath as well. You can also take and not apply all of the butterflies to the circle. Maybe that's what we'll do. And you can put a couple on the outside of the shadow box. Now, my shadow boxers across the room, I only grabbed one because that was it is. By the time I walk over there and back, we're going to waste too much time. So we're just going to embrace the old one there and kind of stick it on top so you guys can see how that goes. Now, I have all of the colors in the designer series paper that was listed except for black. I didn't want to add black to this because we're creating some hope. And I love that the 4 seasons are celebrated. Anita, this is totally up your bag too. I could see you using this, and it would translate, my friends, into a beautiful card. It really would. Then we're going to take the multi-purpose. This is where you need the smallest amount. I did overlap them kind of tight, and I really did for a reason. But I just want you to know that. So I'm kind of coming down and following the circle. Follow the leader, leader, the leader. We're following the leader, my friends. Wherever she may go. Da-dum, diddy. There we go. Then we're going to grab that balmy blue that's right there. That's the Azure Afternoon, which I think is such a great name to have with this designer series paper. Holy cannoli. So last week was a bat. This week might be a bug or two that dive bomb near me. They come out of the woodwork, like literally. Now, this is where I'm going to zoom in. Okay, hold on. Okie dokie. So I'm going to take these butterflies and I'm going to alternate which of the bottoms go down. So here, I tucked in the inside bottom corner that you can see right here underneath of the last butterfly. I really wanted a woven look right there. And we're going to fluff them anyway, so it won't matter. But there's just something about like the alternating. I felt like it mimicked what butterflies do, how they float up. And it was really fun to have them for our wedding. It was one of those little over-the-top things. And it celebrated a new life, a new chapter in life. And we're being really careful here. We don't want to goop it. Don't goop it. And now we're going to tuck the other side under, and I'm just following the edge. So as you guys can see, I'm going to bring this up. Can you see how this piece is tucked down, then that corner is tucked down? We're just going to keep that theme going. You can quite literally space them out more and do the whole circle, but I don't feel like it needed it. I wanted to leave an opening for the hope. And my hope is in the Lord. So if you guys are ever curious where my hope is, like I felt as I was struggling this week, the Lord just really pressed that upon my heart. Like, where is my hope? Where is my hope? Am I going to be worried about what's happening with my husband or my kids or any of that? And we have to remember that every battle is spiritual. It's not in my hands. The battle's already won. No matter what the outcome is, the battle's already won. And it's going to be for my favor. It says that all of that in the Bible. Don't have to worry. So here we go. We're going to just tuck that under. And you can see how I'm kind of weaving them. And it creates this little fluttery effect, I think. Don't you think? When you guys look at that, do you see the flutter feel that I really wanted from that? I like the circle. I like this. Yes, and you know, Anita, I've had people do that at my classes as well, where they have had adhesive inside of embossing folders or even the cut and emboss machine, and I've had to really clean the plates out. Did you know a secret for that is our chamois? So I keep our chamois nearby. I've actually embossed the chamois before, but the chamois will like help remove that. It kind of reminds me of like an eraser. It can remove things with just water. You see it, Karen? You see the little flutter that I wanted to create? This is the Fresh Freesia. Every time I see this, I think of my friend Monique. And actually, Monique's in a situation of transition. Maybe I'll send her this, but I don't know. She needs one less thing in her hands, though. That girl, she's amazing. And she like supports me from afar. Isn't that one of the best parts of our cell phone era? I mean, there's a lot that I don't care for with cell phones. I will be honest. There's a lot. We've talked about that. But I don't know if you and I have talked about it, but I've talked about it with my friends and my children. And I just really feel like social media has put an unnecessary pressure and stress upon everybody. And with everything that's going on, I've really had to just not pay attention to social media the last couple of weeks because I had to be present with my loved ones, right? When you have to be present, be present. And even when you don't have to be. Because you were never promised one more moment. We just aren't. That might be too morbid for tonight, you guys, but I've just faced a little bit too much near misses and or death recently. So there's that. And oh, Karen, you remember Donna. She was at my event last year when I was in California. She sat, when you were looking at me, she sat to my left, your right. And she had glasses. Her picture's downstairs, so you can see it on my blog. 17 plus years. Yeah, but no longer that I don't have to try it. It took a long time to clean it. That's correct. And I also use my chamois to help clean like my blocks or my cleaning surface. And the glass mat comes with its own chamois for that reason, because it really is amazing. And it makes the happiest little windshield wiper clean, like whoop, 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 whoop. And I really want that overlap. It creates this really fun little bit. But at this point, I can either keep going with the butterflies or not. I think I'm going to leave one butterfly out, just one. And then we're just going to tuck it. And I literally went in the name order of the colors that came with this. And it creates, again, a stunning kaleidoscope of color that you can see right here, that you wouldn't necessarily have put together. But I like to take, when Stampin' Up! Has incorporated colors together, I like to play with the packets of paper, be inspired by that. I was just talking to one of the executives at Stampin' Up! Today, and I won't get to see her like I had hoped to this next couple of weeks. And so, but she's known me for years. We've talked about color theory and color play, and I love playing with colors. I think that it's amazing what you can do with color. You can inspire emotion, you can celebrate. You can, my cousin's daughter just had a baby yesterday, and I can't wait to create a beautiful, like, variety of blues card to send to the little baby boy. So here we go. This is our card right so far. If you were doing this on a card front, and if I were sending it, I want to make sure that the butterflies would lay on the card front, right? You don't want it to fall off of the card because it won't fit correctly in an envelope. So there's that. And we're going to decorate the front, and then we're going to end up tucking it into its own shadow box, just like this, where the wings will be concaved up, like they kind of flutter up. And you can see it creates, like it starts to rise and it goes down and rises and goes down and rises and goes down. And when we're done, I'm just going to take one little butterfly and place it on the outside of the shadow box, because I think that's the cherry on top of the ice cream. Now, I will have all of these measurements and supplies, including the shadow box, on my blog tomorrow. But we're going to die cut. We're going to die cut. And this is the mini alphabet. And so I took our metallic paper here, and I started laying it over the alphabet. And I'm going to do the die cutting upside down. Here we go. And we're going to put our die cut sheet on there. It's amazing what people will do when crafting and how much mess we can make, isn't it? I always think it's funny. I already have the O and E die cut because I was able to die cut 2 at a time, and I was getting ready and that kind of thing. But I can see it upside down, so I'm just going to kind of throw this here and kind of capture that. The H, O, and I needed the P. So the P is right there. And I only need a little bit for the P. Speaking of pee, drink enough water and you'll stay in the restroom and not get in any trouble. Because you have to pee. My daughter was laughing. And okay, so I put some social media controls on them, and something happened. I'm going to tell you, it has been not a boring couple of weeks. Woo-wee. But so I put some social media controls on them, and I was laughing at them and saying that I was like a dinosaur. I was like my own little T-Rex, like all power. Mwah, ah, ah, ah. They were so mad at me. Haha. Being a mother, I told them my job is not to be your friend. Like, it's just not. I really wish that we could be friends right now, but that's not my job. My job is to harass them right now and be a bother. And actually, I was doing a Bible study in Ephesians that I'm teaching to the women in our church, and I had to laugh. I'm going to zoom back out. Okay. I had to laugh because it was like, do not anger your children. And there's a whole definition behind it. Like one of the things I love is definitions. And so I was like giggling about it. And I know that we are not to anger our children in a way, or like frustrate. I think that's the word, is more like frustrate. Now we want our take your pick tool, and we're going to use it for a couple of reasons. I want the H. I'm going to set aside the other alphabets. Here's the H. Here's the O. And that H is upside down, so turn it around. H, U, P, B, E. There we go. Now, my fingers are a little tacky. You can also take your chamois at this point, but I'm kind of running out of time because I do a second live and I wanted to be here. I'm just going to grab the gummy part and I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to use my multi-purpose. Don't go heavy-handed here, friends. Just a sweet little and then I'm going to use the line within here and just take the H to that center point of the butterfly. I didn't want to take away from the butterfly, so we're just going to hold it for like a count of 4. It will take longer because it's a metallic sheet, which is non-porous, for it to dry. Just in case you were wondering. I mean, the back will do better, but it still will take a second to cling. And one of the reasons I don't use our glue dots on these kinds of things is because foils will often show the impression of the texture of the adhesive under. So when you're liquid and it kind of flows and moves with the paper, and I'm just using the end of the gummy to hold that there so I'm not stressing out. It's one of my favorite ways to use your take pick tool. If you guys haven't already heard, we have our Getting Crafty cruise coming up. And I know Karen's coming with us. She also booked, I believe, an ocean suite or a balcony suite as well. We are going luxury. But the thing is, it's not expensive. And the really cool thing is you can make payments. And then we're going to grab the E. I got to be careful because that is, I'm going to just do a dab, I'll do ya. There we go. And we're just going to put that hope down right there. Then, this is one of the things I would encourage. You're using multi-purpose like adhesive, you're going to get smears. You're going to get some of that on there. Yes, totally big thing about glue dots, right? Then I'm going to take my embossing buddy and I'm just going to kind of tap over the project. If there's any extra adhesive peeking through, I want to kind of absorb that here. Then it's just talc, so you can blow on it. And close your eyes because it will come up at you. And it has gone in and filled the nooks and crannies on all the extra. And then what I did was I took our Wink of Stella and I just went along the inside of all of the little butterflies here. I want a little wink of sparkle to follow in line. And you can just kind of randomly touch some of the wings here. I didn't want it to be super glittery. Just a little dab will do you. A little dash. It's so funny. Somebody commented on a video of mine that they wanted me to stop saying easy peasy lemon squeezy. So this is for that wonderful person who does not understand what dopamine crafting is. Dopamine crafting is saying and doing things that make you happy. And she's like, I'm going to scream if you say easy peasy lemon squeezy. And yes, I can repeat myself, but I think, don't we all? And I don't know if anybody knows, just it's a really fun experience to do lives and videos, but boy, oh boy, is it multi-thinking. Oh, that's a very good question, Anita. I believe they are. And then we're just going to take and squeeze, and I want to see that little juicy bop there. And we're just going to kind of flick it across the front of this hope sheet. And just kind of, these will dry as little splatters, which I appreciate. And then I often will just take and take my chamois and wipe that as well. I use my chamois a lot. So this is it. If I were to tuck it in, I just applied adhesive on the back portion of this, and I tucked it in so that the wings on these butterflies were floating. And you can see it really does start with like lifting up and then going down, lifting up and going down. And then you have the hope that's in the middle there. And I'm going to take that extra one, and why not? Just put it right on the outside, just like that. I'm going to put just a little bit dab right down the middle there. And if somebody is going to have this stand, you don't want it so that the butterfly hangs down too low. So you might want to bring it up right there. More than likely, somebody will hang it with a little piece that's there. But even if not, we're just going to add a little wink to that because who doesn't love that? I love me some sparkle. Goodness, I hope they still are selling it. Maybe it's just back ordered, girl. Let's hope so. I have had so much on my plate, I haven't had a chance to look. So that's our hope for this evening. I really enjoy it. I like the dash of the metallic. I like how it nestles in with a little bit of space so I'm not fighting it. And then it creates this just flutter of love that you can see right there. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you love it? Are you going to create it yourself? That would be really fun. I would love to see what you guys create if you are creating it. So I'm putting my hair down. If you don't know, I start crafting, I end up usually putting my hair up. So let's lift this up real quick. Hi, everybody. Oh, that is some hair, isn't it? Okay, so that's our hope for the evening. Whether you're going to create this just like this or at another size, I love how everything really comes together for that really woven appeal that I wanted to create with the butterflies. I just love that so much, and I hope that you do too. Our Getting Crafty cruise is coming up. We have until April 15th to reserve your discount room rate with just $150. So, and then there's payment options for the cruise and for the crafting retreat. There's even a free option for the crafting. What? Yes, so this is what it looks like when it all is done together. I think it's really fun. Would you want to put it in a frame or do you want to create a card for it? There's a lot of options with both there, and I think it's so much fun to create in a way that you may not think with the beautiful butterfly. My friend Megan inspired me with some beautiful butterfly art that she created with recently. And actually, if you guys look, I'm gonna tilt you up. You can see these are butterfly or leaves that are here, and then across the room I have a butterfly version that's different that we created at one of our Getting Crafty family meetings. And so I would hang this up and find it super inspirational and hopeful. If you haven't already, subscribed and hit the bell so you don't miss our upcoming crafting classes. I have some great videos coming to you, even a beautiful, that heartfelt sympathy card that we'll be posting tomorrow. And this will be up on my blog tomorrow for you guys to see all the measurements and all the supplies and all the colors that I used. That's it for this evening, you guys. I love you. God bless. Thanks for joining me. Can you please comment and let me know what you think of this project, and would you create this? It's not hard at all. I mean, if I can do it with my little exhausted brain, gray matter, you guys can too, right? Like everybody can. So I'm gonna let you guys go. This is it for this evening. I have 2 lives that I do, so I'll be doing that for our Getting Crafty family next. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening and God bless. Good night. Did it stop?